Good day and welcome to the Our City COVID-19 show. I am Zanele Mvana. In response to the worldwide pandemic and South Africa's 21-day lockdown, Cape Town TV has made the decision to collapse most of our in-house shows and instead bring you a daily bulletin updating you on the latest information and resources around the COVID-19 pandemic while unpacking deeper issues as they emerge. For the next few weeks, we'll broadcast daily at 1 p.m., replacing our usual news bulletin. We welcome contributions from movements, healthcare providers, and our audience. We want this program to be a two-way flow of information, so please get in touch with us via social media platforms and our email. And now for the news. It is day 8 of lockdown and South Africa has a total of 1,462 confirmed cases of COVID-19. There have been 31 recoveries and 5 deaths. Now let's have a look at today's infographics. Refugees and asylum seekers have been living outside the Methodist Church in Grey Market Square since October last year, as well as those camped on street around Cape Town Central Police Station and near the District 6 Museum have been relocated to Bellville. Their removal came after Public Works Minister Patricia de Lille and City of Cape Town's officials conducted a site visit to Paint City in Bellville on Tuesday, where temporary accommodation for refugees has been erected. 7 cases of burglary and vandalism at schools have been recorded since the lockdown, despite security measures. Chomisa Primary School in Site B, Khayelitsha, is the latest institution to have been ransacked by criminals since the schools closed 2 weeks ago. Western Cape Education Department spokesperson Bronagh Hammond said the cost of damage would soon be established. She appealed to communities to report any suspicious behavior in and around schools. Criminals broke into the school through the roof on Monday before making their way to the administrative office and stealing 2 computers. Police said no arrests have been made yet. 5 police officials are expected to appear in the Bellville Magistrates Court on charges of forgery, fraud, and corruption on Friday. The Bellville Vehicle Crime Investigation Unit arrested officials in Bellville South and 2 administrative personnel in Langa and Paarl in connection with fraudulent vehicle registrations. Western Cape Police spokesperson Brigadier Novella Botelwa said the arrests were an effort to stop corruption in the police service.
In a bid to rid the SAPS of corrupt elements, detectives from the Bellville Vehicle Crime Investigation Unit pounced on 5 of their own in Bellville South and 2 administrative personnel in Langa and Paarl today. The arrests are part of a protracted investigation into fraudulent vehicle registration. The suspects, 5 sergeants and 2 clerks, are between the ages of 30 and 40. They will appear in the Bellville Magistrates Court on Friday, the 2nd of April.
Products grown in Afrikayam vegetable garden have become a staple source of nutrition for one Cape Town community. 28-year-old Mawanda Sigwinda started the vegetable garden in an effort to help curb disease and improve the quality of life for the people in his community. It ensures residents have nutritious meals before taking their medication. After a lengthy search for land, Sigwila finally got a lease from Christmas Tindo Primary School in Asanda village. The garden is located opposite the school in Hlati Drive. Sigwinda said his ultimate goal for Afrikayam was to open a restaurant celebrating Africa's cultures. Strandfontein residents are outraged as they were not consulted over a plan to locate over 2,000 homeless people on the Strandfontein sports field. Strandfontein Ratepayers Association chairperson Mario Ostendorp said the move was a glaring human rights violation happening on their doorstep. But Mayor Plato reassured residents, saying homeless encampment would be serviced by the city's Disaster Risk Management Centre, which would provide services such as water and sanitation. Plato said during the registration the homeless would be screened. Let's now go for an ad break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. You're still watching our City COVID-19 show with me, Zanele Mvana. We'll be giving you the latest updates on the COVID-19 pandemic and sharing essential resources and information with you. SASSA's April payouts were released earlier to beneficiaries due to the COVID-19 lockdown. The plan was to avoid an influx of people so as to ensure social distancing was maintained at paying points. But this did not happen in Khayelitsha, which was residents has concerns since there are now 2 confirmed cases of COVID-19.
The Department of Social Development made a call to beneficiaries of SASSA grants to practice social distancing at pay points when collecting their grants. But at Side B Mall in Khayelitsha, this was not being adhered to.
Kuyanyakazela kho umuntu unikaza umuntu ichance ukuthi kubhekelelwane kule meter benithetha ngayo ukuthi mayibe 1 meter ubheka pha. So yes, in fact apha eKhayelitsha kunomuntu oyi1 oye wafunyaniseka ukuthi unaso esifo. Uyayiqonda oyi1 oba ngoku asiyazi noba bangaphi ke ngokasabe nayo ngoku uyabona apha kunyanyakazela nje kugcwele wonke umuntu, so asiphephanga kakhulu sinabantwana sinefamily.
Nditini, the chairperson of Khayelitsha Development Forum, said that social distancing is quite difficult for people who live in the townships due to accessibility.
KDF promotes all government communication, including that of social distancing. But you see, for black townships and people in areas such as Khayelitsha, you may find it a bit difficult for people, especially on the social grant payout days. Because remember, on the affluent and the have, they would have a choice to buy on a Wednesday or on a Tuesday or any other day when it's not congested. They've got that choice. But the poor and the poorest do not have such a choice. They will get their money on a set day from SASSA, and they would do groceries on the same day. Even if it wasn't, even if the country was not on lockdown and there was no corona, the retailers will tell you that we're experiencing these big queues. But even worse now, because the haves, they seem to be buying everything, and the scare is not about people not listening to the social distancing message, but because the people with money, they've demonstrated opulence, they bought things and stock it. Now, a person who gets their money only today, it's only common sense that they will have to rush and go and see what is left, obviously, from the table of the have and the rich.
One of the beneficiaries we spoke to thought that social distancing would be adhered to if there was more police or military presence during the day.
I could say totally they are making a big difference, because of, you could see sometimes, especially during the night, you see, but I would wish that I could work more during the day, because as you can see around here, there's a lot of people. And you see, we are working with children and all that kind of stuff, because of we want to come here and take out our own monies, you see. So it's I would wish that they would work more during the day.
While Mr. Mabaso disagrees and thinks that the regulations put in place by government is not for the lower class.
Jena high grant it from today, ne? Babang kwana ba tla bana le bana ba banyenyana. Ke bona ba le majone ha msebetsi go hane ba le teng. E ka ba o sitse. Ana jena ba atemella. Jela ka bona la ne mara ana itse o ska ba batho ba me distance. Bona ka mkho ho leng ka temo. Ana le transport ha di tsamaya. At least plekeng tsa magua ditoropong ha wa tlala, because magua ba na le tšhelete so ba ipiksedisa. So what about ka rona setšhaba se setso?
Although there are now 2 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Khayelitsha, social distance in public places remain a challenge. October Ndlovu, for our City News, Khayelitsha.
Earlier today, Ayanda Nabe spoke to the Black Sash about some of the concerns Khayelitsha residents raised around the dispensation of social grants and pensions during this lockdown. The elderly and disabled joined the unprecedentedly long queues to receive their money and were worried that these conditions could result in furthering the spread of COVID-19 in vulnerable communities.
Today I have with me Nzwaki Morerwa, Black Sash, paralegal field worker who will be talking to us about the developments of COVID-19 in communities, particularly focusing on the grant payouts. Hello, Ntwaki, and how are you?
Hello, sis, I'm all right. Yourself?
Ntwaki, we'll be talking, of course, as you know, about the COVID-19 and of focusing on community developments. How is it panning out? And today we're focusing particularly on the pension payouts. So, you know, we've heard these reports and we've seen, of course, your press release, the media release statement, which says there's been unprecedented long queues, and Black Sash seems to have problems with that. And linked to that has been the issue of money not being available. There's been issues about bank services not being, you know, adequate. And one would want to know what has been your observation and your views on the current activities, in fact, in relation to the payouts.
Okay, our current views, we're currently working with partners. So what our partners are doing is that they are observing what is happening in our pay point. So what is actually happening is that we're seeing very long queues at your retail stores. The reason why is that people are very anxious. Remember that the lockdown is for 21 days. And people are given the opportunity to be able to go and purchase whatever that they need to purchase and also get their social grants from the 30th to the 3rd. So everybody's anxious, everybody wants to stock up, everybody wants to get their money. So that is the reason why we're seeing long queues. And remember, it's not only grant beneficiaries who are using your ATMs, who are using your retail stores, who are using your post offices.
You mentioned about the ATMs not having sufficient money. And of course, people not being able to draw their money. How does this, and the bank services? I mean, I just wanted to take us through this and tell us what Black Stash's view is on all of these things.
What we would first like to do is that to appreciate BASA for them being able to waive the bank charges, that grant beneficiaries who will be using ATMs will not be charged. That one we really appreciated that. Though it's not only grant beneficiaries who are using those ATMs, as I had said. We also have people of the public who are also using the ATMs. They are also using this space and time. Remember that the Minister of Transport only opened for public transport to be working from 5 until 8 o'clock in the evening during this grant period. So everybody's using the ATMs. If at least the banks could make sure that they deliver money in time and that there is always money at the ATMs. Because remember, you have to go to town, that is transport cost, and having to get there and you don't receive your money, then having to go back home and coming back the next day, it hits on the beneficiary's pocket. Because remember that they have to be using public transport to and fro and to and fro. And you'd find that it's not only that beneficiary, but also with a disabled person. It's the mother with the child having to go and collect, then having to go back and have to come back again. It hits on their pockets.
Could the problem be that people are ignorant? Could it be that they're not educated enough? Could it be that communities don't have access to these protective equipment or gear?
What I'm seeing is that people are educated, because this is everywhere. We have posters on TV. We are being educated about this. It's just that people are anxious because of this lockdown. Mm-hmm. The lockdown is causing anxiety, and people want to be stocking up food, and people want to be moving around so that when they are locked down, then they know that they have everything. It's not ignorance, per se.
So if they're educated, why would people not want to protect themselves? You know, we've been also told that you can make your own masks, you know, homemade masks, if you don't have any other masks. Why are people not taking these steps? Why are they not keeping the social distance? One thing, in as much as you expect the service provider that you're going to for your grant payout to enforce social distancing, it should also be, the onus should also be on myself who's going there to receive this grant. Why am I not doing that?
What we want, or what they want to get, is their grant, regardless of social distancing. Because remember that it's overcrowded and you cannot be 1 meter apart. You just want to get your grant and get out. So that is one of the issues. People are educated. It's just that that's why I'm saying that they're anxious and want to receive their money in time and just go home. So also that people do want those protective gears, but because of poverty, remember, even the grant amount is not that enough. So whatever that you would buy is your basic needs. And how would you make? You would make a mask. You buy 10 rolls of toilet paper. That should last you for a month. And when you have to use it for doing masks and whatnot, then it means that it will chow on some of the toilet papers that you have to be using for the whole month. So it means that things will not last for the month.
So do you think there's enough enforcement from government? Do you think there's enough enforcement from the responsible service providers? Do you think there's enough enforcement from community leaders? Well, I guess when we talk enforcement, we'll be talking about government in the main and probably, you know, secondary, the service providers. But do you think there's enough that we are all doing?
What I was saying in the area where I live is that the leadership is trying. You have your CPFs in the area who are also trying to at least enforce the laws that are happening. We have SAPS, which is also trying. We have the NDF, which is also trying to enforce the regulations which were put by the president, that people cannot just be moving around without reasons. Even though we have people in our communities who still don't want to be locked down, they would be moving and roaming around the streets. Though the law enforcement are trying, but people are still not complying. Some people are still not complying. So education still needs to be done on our TVs, even in our communities where people would know what is actually happening, and also to try and protect them, because the more they are not locked down, that's the more they will be exposed to this COVID-19.
You know, Zaki, you know, from what I have seen, I could be wrong, I'm talking about myself, is that the education that I've really seen going around are details about the virus, the infection rate, but issues that pertain to developmental issues, how to take care of yourself, that information has not been dispersed enough. So would I be correct? I mean, in my case, I truly feel that way. Do you think there's any room for improvement? Yes, I know that this virus kills, but I need to know more about what I can do to prevent this virus. And there's so much going on to the point that there's no voice of authority. We've lost the voice of authority in terms of what communities can do. We're now depending on these viral videos that are going around that tell us that using masks is not safe enough, using gloves is even more dangerous than you working with your bare hands. Who should be the voice of authority over this matter? And I mean, the person that we should really be listening to and would be informing us diligently about what is correct and what is not, to cut this out, to prevent this confusion that is currently going around. Who should be that person? Who should be that voice?
It is our president supposed to put a voice, that authority, to say that if you're out, then these are the regulations. This is how you should protect yourself. You should also have organizations that would do that would go around, that would be teaching people, educating people on this COVID virus, this COVID-19. We also have, I heard that the president said that they have 10,000 workers which were deployed to do testing. Those 10,000 field workers should also do education. When going to test, you should also be educated on how to protect yourself.
So, Ntwaki, before we close the show, I want to hear from you. Is there any message that you'd want to put out there?
Yes, you also have a Black Search helpline for more information if maybe they want to know on the telephone number, the hotline number, where they have to call the DSD, the Department of Social Development. We have a helpline number of the Black Search, which is 072 66 33739. They can call our number or send a please call me, or they can also send an email to help@blacksearch.org.za. They can also send a WhatsApp on that number. We do respond.
And of course, the number will appear on our screen, and people should take note of that. Black Search is there, giving you the number to contact should you need any type of support in relation to the COVID-19. Ntwaki, thank you so much for your time. And thank you for the wonderful work that you do with your partners, and keep doing it. You're servicing our people very well. The working class can never be more than grateful to you.
Welcome back. You're still watching our City News COVID-19 show. With the rampant spread of COVID-19 pandemic, one of the main concerns has been homeless people still on the streets of Cape Town. As a result, the city of Cape Town has been looking into relocating individuals into places in an effort to ensure they are taken care of during the lockdown. Mayoral Committee Member for Community Services and Health, Zahid Badruddin, explains how they plan to combat the spread of the virus. Let's have a look.
So the city of Cape Town has about 4,000 to 6,000 homeless people, according to the study that we did about 2 years ago. And so what we know from the study is that obviously it goes without saying that there's most probably much more street people on the street than we managed to count. And these are individuals who are in shelters, and then also individuals who find themselves in communities across the city. And so what we've been doing in terms of our efforts to find temporary shelter for these individuals, the city had two approaches. On the one hand, we were looking to identify a number of facilities across the community or across the city, such as Pain City in Bellville, the CBD, Somerset West. We are wanting to invest our resources into making facilities available for street people much longer than just COVID. So even after coronavirus, we have these facilities available. Also, additionally, what we're doing is in the Strandfontein community, we've now where we're wanting to house about 2,000 people minimum. These are street people from across the city in large marquee tents where they'll be able to access water, showers, medical services, a number of other essential services. So that's currently underway. I've just received some photos. We have seen electricity and water services on site, and by Sunday, we plan to have all of our homeless people start to move to the location at least. So our first temporary shelter that we opened was in the CBD, in the Kulenburg area, close to where our existing safe space is. That facility in the first 2 to 3 hours took on about 250 people. At the moment, we're just under 300 people. So clearly there's a need for us to move much faster to find temporary facilities. Pain City in Bellville was our next location. We were actually meant to open it today for people to start moving in over the weekend. And that's still the intention for that location, but we've got to work our way through some challenges there at the moment. But what I'm more excited about now is the fact that we've moved away from these smaller micro locations to the macro location being the Strandfontein Sports Complex. And so that's where we put in all of our focus in at the moment. If I can share just quickly that we learned so much from our CBD safe space that we opened, the first one, because here we brought together a lot of different kinds of people. Fontaine is going to help us separate people according to male, females, couples, isolation facilities. So we're taking, before we move any street person to the Strandfontein Sports Complex, we are going to be applying strict screening protocols to make sure that no individuals have any symptoms of COVID-19. This will be before they get to the Strandfontein Sports Complex. Should they have any symptoms, obviously we'll engage in the correct protocols, being to do the necessary usage of the national hotline, the provincial hotline, to take guidance from them whether or not they should be tested. But here we're clearly guided by very specific definitions of.
It's time for us to take an ad break, but when we return, my colleague Octavian Ndlovu will be dispelling fake news.
Welcome back. Before the break, we had Zanele Mbane with the latest news. There's a message that has been going around WhatsApp that schools will be opening on the 20th of April for teachers and the 22nd of April for learners. It also states that all schools will start at 8 a.m. and end at 5 p.m. every weekday for the rest of this academic year, which is false.
We spoke to Kerry Michelle, the MEC of Education spokesperson, and this is what she had to say.
We received it actually on the 1st, which was a big clue for me, for starters. A statement that said that school reopening day had been decided and that teachers were going to work the entire day for the rest of the academic year, and we're going to work on Saturdays. And then the circuit managers were going to have a nap scheduled into their day. So the moment we thought that, we thought, oh my word, yeah, someone thought this would be a good April Fool's joke. Unfortunately, you know, that would have been perhaps funny at any other time, but at this point in time, everything is so uncertain with the lockdown, and so many people are frightened and worried and concerned about what happens to learning at this point in time, that people can't really send this kind of stuff around because it's going to cause a lot of unhappiness and concern and worry for people. So what we would always ask is that people think twice before they share something on social media, and to only share information that is from verified, credible sources. So, for example, from the Western Cape Government website, we will always have our logo involved in any images that go around. So to rather share those kinds of pieces of information instead of what is essentially fake news, which at the moment we know is not allowed by the national government.
If you're unsure of a video or WhatsApp audio you have received, you can send a message to AfriCheck. They have set up a WhatsApp fact-checking group to help citizens verify the information if it's correct. You can add them on 082 709 3527. The video was produced by WITH and the Khayelitsha Community Action Network. This is a step-by-step guide on how to protect yourselves from the coronavirus when using communal taps and toilets. And now for social media. Share your thoughts with us on Facebook. We are Our City CT, and on Twitter at Our City CT. We encourage you to send any COVID-19 questions. This is a time that we need to come together as a nation. So if you are not sure about something, send us questions and we will try to find the answers for you. These are the popular hashtags on Twitter today. We also read some of your questions on Facebook and comments about the show. If you want to be part of this conversation, you can also go on visiting our Facebook page using hashtag CTVCOVIDShow. These are the trending hashtags on Twitter. Oprah. And on our Facebook page, Hadrian Hadri wrote, "We can buy cigarettes when buying essential services, but we cannot make car parts and electrical household goods parts of essential goods. I need to top up my car oil as none of the petrol stations supply it, only Macro and Game, and I can't buy it. Is there an essential good because you guys can't drive on petrol alone if the same manufacturers are making it? And Limel Severiwa said, if you have a doctor's appointment during lockdown, I have an SMS on my phone and a hospital card showing my appointment. So if I stopped by the police, do I show them this, or should I get a pass or permit? We will find the answers to these questions soon, but in the meantime, please check in your inboxes where we will reply. After the ad break, we will be crossing over to Zanele Mfana with resources and places of safety that you can go during this period of the lockdown. Stay with us.
Welcome back. You're still watching our city show, COVID-19. Before the ad break, my colleague Octavian Ndlovu looked at what has the nation buzzing on our social media platforms. If you want to watch the repeat of this program, you can tune in again at 6 p.m. for your latest news around the COVID-19 pandemic and to see what other Cape Townians are doing to keep safe. Speaking of what Cape Townians are doing, here are some organizations helping communities stay safe. Ladles of Love Soup Kitchen. This is a volunteer-run project serving food to the needy. To get help with food or assistance, Ladles in Love, please contact Danny on 073-7208-088 or email Danny at ladlesoftlove.org.za. The Haven Night Shelters. The Haven Night Shelters Welfare Organization provides temporary shelter, physical care, social welfare, and family reunification services to adult homeless persons in the Western Cape. For further assistance, please contact them on 021-425-4700. Sisters Incorporated. For anyone currently at heightened risk for domestic violence due to the lockdown, please get in touch with Sisters Incorporated, a facility providing shelter for abused women and children. Their contact details are 021-797-4190. U-Turn Homeless Ministries. If you would like to assist the needy, you can do so through helping out at U-Turn Homeless Ministries. Please call them on 021-674-61194. And that's all we have for you today. But you have something to say, we want to hear from you. Send your comments, news, questions to us via Facebook at Our City CT and on Twitter at Our City CT, or get in touch with us via email at ourcity@capetowntv.org. This is the time we need to come together as a nation. So if you're not sure about something, send us your questions and we'll try to find the answers for you. You can contact Cape Town TV on 021-448-0448. From me, Zanele Mfana, and my colleague Octavian Ndlovu and the rest of the team, goodbye.